Donald Trump has vowed to label China a currency manipulator on his first day in office. Would he be justified? For many years, between 2003 and 2014 to be exact, China did heavily intervene in currency markets. They did so in order to keep their exchange rate weaker than market conditions might dictate, helping the country boost exports and sustain a historic economic boom with double-digit growth rates. The thing is, they're not doing it anymore. Both the International Monetary Fund and our own estimates at the Peterson Institute find that China has not manipulated the renminbi since early 2014, over 2 years. But even naming a country a manipulator has no significant operational consequences. It's more a political stance than an enforceable designation. Even if the administration were to label China a manipulator, the law only authorizes it to begin a negotiation with the Chinese, something that is always going on anyway. Trump and his advisors have suggested that they would use a designation of manipulation to impose new import restrictions against China, up to the level of the renminbi undervaluation that resulted. Again, this would be misguided, given that the country has long stopped the practice and the currency is no longer undervalued. Indeed, the Chinese have actually intervened heavily on the opposite side of the market. Instead of buying dollars to keep the renminbi weak, they have sold large amounts of dollars to prevent the RMB from sliding further. China's recent intervention has made the United States more competitive, not less competitive. Nor is there any legal authority to restrict imports from China or anywhere else as a result of designation as a currency manipulator. So if Trump wanted to impose new import barriers against the Chinese, he would have to use one of the many other legal authorities that he has, rather than resorting to a designation of currency manipulation. So it would be factually incorrect as well as ineffectual for the new Trump administration to label China a currency manipulator. It would be desirable, however, for the new administration to add a new tool to the U.S. policy arsenal to ensure that the problem of manipulation will not resurface. They could do this by announcing that the U.S. would counter any future manipulation with offsetting intervention of its own, what I call countervailing currency intervention. If China buys $1 billion worth of dollars in an effort to keep the dollar artificially strong, the United States could simply buy $1 billion worth of renminbi to neutralize any impact of the Chinese action on the exchange rate between the two currencies. That would surely deter the Chinese from such manipulative action and avoid the practice. The present remission of currency manipulation could thus be made permanent, and further problems of this type could be avoided. This was Fred Bergston with the Peterson Institute for International Economics.